Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our presentation today. Our company, Dronescape LLC, is seeking funding from your organization, the World Wildlife Fund, for our Guajirme Miram State Park Drone Investment Project. Today, we have our team of Akui, Gary, Guajirme, me, Megan, and Monica. First, I want to talk about the opportunities for Brazil and the World Wildlife Fund. So for some background, from 2001 to 2021, Brazil lost 62.8 million hectare-acres of tree covers, which is 12% of all their tree cover. It's also increased CO2 emissions by 33.6 gigatons. 70% of Brazil's tree loss was proved to be from deforestation, as shown in the Global Forest Watch organization. There's many benefits to decreasing deforestation. Some of the benefits are increasing biodiversity, helping protect millions of plant and animal species, such as the black spider monkey that is close to extinction. This also increases soil fertility, lessens soil erosion. It helps local communities and tribes, which is a large part of our solution to this. And it decreases climate change. And our solution also gives the opportunity to partnership with Brazil's Institute of the Environment and Renewable Natural Resources. So first, our solution has a local tribe that has been taught how to use the drones by Brazil's Institute of Environmental and Renewable Natural Resources. They send a pair of drones out to fly over our pilot location of Guajirme Miram State Park, and the images are sent back to the Institute for analysis. So after they're sent to the Institute of the Environment and Renewable Natural Resources, these images are analyzed and likely deforested areas are detected from the drone images. These areas are sent to the government for officials to investigate and address as needed. And then finally, once the government intervenes the deforested areas, deforestation should decrease and the number of trees will return steadily to the Amazon.
For customer testing, we identified an audience, members from the Uruuwawa tribe in Brazil, which is a team of 12 individuals. They're located in Rondônia, which is Western Brazil, and covered an area of around 7,000 square miles. We justified using and partnering with these individuals because of where they live. Their homes are literally under threat every day due to the burning Amazon. Additionally, in December 2019, they participated in drone operating training courses that were led by the World Wildlife Fund and the Brazilian NGO. So this upskilling and familiarity with our technology for our solution was definitely a plus. Results of our test with this audience, we were able to capture and obtain high-resolution images, videos, and GPS mapping data. That information can be used then to report illegal activities. And knowledge of the area from the indigenous tribe members definitely was an advantage as well. Quoted here from an article in CNN is that pairing the tool or the drone technology with their indigenous knowledge makes it so much more powerful. Some risks that we encountered or potential risks for using this audience were costs. It was similar to helicopter costs. So there was less training and investment in new technology, safety concerns for the tribe members, and sustainability and long-term maintenance of the equipment. For team qualifications, to help us find success in developing and implementing this solution, it's based upon first our MBTI profile as a team, ENFJ, which means we are, as a majority, extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging from a personality perspective. Additionally, we are flexible, energetic, upbeat, organized, and empathetic. And these traits will help us tremendously to take on this large-scale, complex, serious, and emotionally and politically charged solution. We are also researchers and expert scientists on climate change. Our combined years of experience is over 36 years, providing context, experiences, and expertise from a variety of industries, such as human resources, engineering, research, healthcare communications, and AML fraud risk. Because of this experience, we have a cross-functional perspective that will help us to identify and address issues with innovation and purposeful solutions with you, our client. We are a team that does not have language barriers, so that thankfully eliminates any potential for errors or mixed messages as we work together. And finally, we are grateful for having composed a team of diversity of experience, of thought, of race, ethnicity, and gender. And this is imperative to our success to ensure that our team is comprised to reflect those in the community for whom we are providing our solution. Competition as the competing norm is not just competition, but also opposition to our solution. And this falls within three categories: agribusiness, natural disasters, and political unrest. Extensive cattle ranching is the #1 culprit of deforestation in virtually every Amazon country, and it accounts for 80% of current deforestation. Subsequently, the natural disasters, such as Amazon fires, generally spread from the adjacent agricultural lands. In fact, between the year 2000 and 2002, forest hotspots tripled from 16,000 to 42,000. And then finally, thankfully, with his return as Brazil's new president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is promising to reverse the alarming rate of deforestation in the Amazon. But as he goes into climate talks with the United Nations, trying to achieve zero deforestation, it is imperative to keep in mind all of the reverse progress that the company or that the country made during the previous president's tenure, Bolsonaro, who was very anti-regulations, allowing and even encouraging deforestation as a way to add to and increase Brazil's GDP during his 3 years in office.
So first and foremost, we want to know what is the model. So our approach would be, it's really to touch the heartstrings of our customers. We want to show them visual images of the actual current rainforest in the current state. And we think that would kind of grasp the emotions of customers and especially the citizens of Brazil, because we kind of want to show them that this is a problem. This isn't something that we can ignore. And secondly, we want to make sure to build partnerships with interest groups and environmental interest groups to kind of show, hey, like, we want to help you. How can we help you preserve the Amazon rainforest right now? Because it is a really popular attraction that people come to see in Brazil. And most importantly, we want to kind of show and be partners with them and kind of form this unionship that we want to combat this. And then also, we want to make sure that we're using social media to our advantage. We want to post and we want to use the 4 different social media engines that's posted on the left side. We want to use Facebook, we want to use Instagram, we want to use TikTok, we want to use Twitter, all that to kind of like help explain the purpose of these drones. Second question we have is, how will you reach the potential users? Well, first and foremost, word of mouth is easy, talking to people, of course, and again, relying heavily on social media posts. We want to kind of make sure that people see and grasp the images of why we need to save the Amazon forest now and why we can't wait. Another thing that's been very popular within the social media realm is the fact of how people go live or do live stories. So hopefully by doing live stories about the current state of the Amazon rainforest, we'll kind of wake people up and be like, wow, like we really need to take this seriously. We really see that the current state of the Amazon rainforest is not the best right now. And hopefully these drones are seeing how these drones will help impact the future of the Amazon rainforest. And of course, meeting with government officials as well to get this problem heightened, and making sure to work on various policies to help better manage the deforestation issues. And most importantly, some of these drones we notice will be going over sacred land. So to make sure that we meet with the indigenous group leaders and kind of like say, hey, like, how does this impact you? And making sure to meet with them, because we don't want to go over their territory. We don't want to, disrespect their territory, their land. So making sure we kind of form a pact with them as well too. And making sure to also working with Brazil's Institute of Environmental and Renewable Natural Resources. This would be a great partnership for us, working with other scientists and team up to kind of see how these drones will be beneficial and how this can help diminish the issue of deforestation. Last but not least, how do we connect to customers? That is really important. So our proposal, we're going to definitely look into radio commercial advertisements. Another thing is hosting a YouTube channel and kind of showcasing the analysis that we found from the drones. And another thing, once again, social media. Social media is our friend during this. Like, social media is so easy to bring people together from all over the world. We want to post analysis that the drones have picked up on as well too. And lastly, hosting quarterly town hall meetings, because most importantly, this impacts the citizens of Brazil. So we want to make sure we host town hall meetings so everyone can have an open forum of how this affects them.
Like every project, this one also has risk factors. We understand them and try to find solutions so that they don't negatively affect our real objective, which is the protection of the Guajará-Mirim State Park and the improvement in the lives of people around it. We have a risk factor related to the population acceptance. Often drones can scare local residents who may think that their privacy is being invaded. However, the images will only be taken of the areas defined by the state park in order to prevent deforestation and notify the responsible authorities. Furthermore, these images will only be provided to the NGO and the local government and will not violate any personal image use law. In addition, another risk factor would be related to the bird ecosystems of the state park. Possibly, drones may collide with birds or even be haunted by one. For this problem, drones rely on systems of high precision sensors to detect the proximity of these animals and carry out both of sound signals and evasion maneuvers. This way, from the environment point of view, the birds will not be harmed, and from the economic point of view, the drones will not be damaged either. Even under heavy rain and wind, the drones are equipped with systems that prevent accidents, but of course, under very adverse weather conditions, the drones will have their activities stopped. As for the cost of the project, we are asking for $80,000 to implement our systems. There are initial expenses that include 2 high-tech drones, about $20,000 each, batteries and backup cameras, and monitoring systems. In addition, there are periodic annual expenses to pay the people involved in the monitoring of the park and maintaining the equipment, as you can see on this graph. First, before I quantify the return, we have to say that many times when a fire is not controlled at the initial point, it can be devastating. The fire can advance and kill fauna, flora, the indigenous people, and even advance into surrounding cities. But we can't quantify the return on investments, especially in a relation to public spending on health and the influence on local farming. The majority of population around the park depends on the single health systems, the SUS, which is a free public health systems, a federal public health systems. According to the government data, each patient hospitalized for respiratory problems can cost up to $3,370. Several studies show a direct correlation in the increase of respiratory diseases in period when the number of the forest fires has reached record levels. The lack of rain, the dry weather, and the soot and smoke from the fires create a variety of problems. In July 21, with record-breaking wildfires outbreaks in the state of Rondônia, the cases of hospitalizations for respiratory diseases in children increased by almost 50%. A more detailed study between 2000 and 2010 brought that the rate of fires decreased by 15% in the states. The cases of hospitalization of 5-year-old children decreases by 39%. Moreover, in 2019, before the pandemic caused by SARS-CoV, we had 2,633 hospitalization for respiratory problems in the state of Rondônia. Regarding agriculture production, the region depends heavily on agriculture and cattle raising productivity, and that are directly affected by deforestation, mainly by burning, since there is a decrease in local climate changing points described by several scientific papers, such as by Leite Filho last year. Therefore, we will also have an increase in productivity and a consequence increase in GDP in this region. Making an estimated and analysis in our hypothetical scenario, if our project help to contain the expansion of wildfires and deforestation and reduce at least 1% of the general hospitalization for respiratory problems in the cities around the park, this would result in saving of almost $88,000 per year for the health systems. This would help the poor municipalities to relocate funds and expand on other essential services for the population, such as education, infrastructure, culture, security, and other health services. As we have seen the GDP of the agriculture and cattle ranching of the cities around the park is about $15 million, and the fires have a direct influence on this activity. If we quantify the damage at only 1%, and that our project can reduce this damage by 10%, we have an increase in GDP of more than $15,000. This value can be divided among several farmers and ranchers who have their business affected by fires and deforestation. Therefore, we quantify a cost benefit in the first year of more $23,000. Another point is relation to the donations of the NGO may receive. With an increase in environment protection activities in the Amazon, external and internal investments will tend to increase. We estimate this in 50% a year.
So the scalability for this project includes ordering more drones to cover more area. Partnering with bigger investors, more funds means more drones, which means more areas to be covered. And just by making the general population of Brazil aware of this project and how they can help and get involved to really bring awareness to the deforestation in the area. And not only that, but by creating this project, it promotes to job creation, and the larger the project, the more jobs, which is beneficial to the economy. An exit strategy for this would include that the sponsors could withdraw their involvement by passing on responsibility to institutes like the Brazil's Institute of Environmental and Renewable Natural Resources and local tribes and governments. By having local tribes and governments involved, it allows for them to monitor smaller areas. By having smaller areas, it means quicker response to deforestation areas. By working on a national and local levels and working together, they can cover more area and truly hit the hardest areas that need hit in the deforestation area and work in those areas more. A final summary of our project includes that we would like to use drones to stop deforestation in Brazil. Brazil has the largest deforestation out of all the countries in the Amazon. There are so many benefits to stopping deforestation, and these benefits don't just include the surrounding areas. For the surrounding areas, it would mean that the indigenous people could live a more peaceful life without fear of their homes being taken away. It also means that endangered species could be given a second chance. And on a more global level, it helps with the CO2 emissions in the world and can just make the overall world more healthy and ecological place. The project cost estimation is $80,000. This is used for drones, equipment for the drones, such as batteries, implementation of the project, and the people involved, which creates new jobs for the area. The overall project would just be so beneficial to the local area and to the entire world. And we would like to thank you for your time.